Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Uh, it is February 11th. Welcome to this month's edition of gPanel Basics. It's really good to see everybody. I see a handful of people coming into the room. Welcome. Really glad to see everybody on promevo.com, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. As a reminder, as we go through this, Jack, yes, if you want to chime in, say hello, say where you're from. Uh, all of that is in the sidebar, whatever platform you're on. We can see it from within StreamYard, the tool that we're using to broadcast this. So we'd love to hear from you. The more interactive, the better. If you have questions, if you have comments, we will either address it live. Some of it, like if it's relevant to the conversation that the part of the conversation that we're on right there, I'll address it live. Otherwise, we'll take a few minutes at the end to talk about it. If we can't get to it, we will follow up with you outside of this. We'll have someone reach out to you and answer your question. My name is Brandon. I'm the marketing director at Promevo. Promevo is the creator of gPanel, as you may or may not be aware. Our presenter today is Shelby Gaines from our support team. Good morning, Shelby.
Hey, Brandon, how are you doing?
Doing great. I guess technically it's good afternoon,
Well, good
but
afternoon. Yes, for some.
either way, it counts. For those of you that are new to this is your gPanel basics tutorial. gPanel's got hundreds of things that it does. We can't we can't walk you through all of them in 30 minutes, but what we're aiming to do here is get you like the most essential functions that you need to understand. And then once you kind of have a grasp of those, like you should be much more comfortable and much more like free to explore the platform and do all the things. And of course, if you want to go deeper on these things, come to our website, promevo.com/gpanel. We have hours and hours of tutorials, of webinars. Uh, and, if you feel like one session of basics isn't enough, we do these monthly. You can come to as many as you like. Um, Shelby, of course, and the support team are always on that little chat icon that sits down in the corner of gPanel. You're welcome to reach out to her, open a ticket. Her and her team will walk you through anything that you want to know. One quick note before I hand it over to Shelby. We are hosting a deep dive on email management on February 28th. So if you go to promevo.com/gpanel, you should see a little pop-up. Or if you go to the webinar section on promevo.com, you'll find you'll find where you sign up for that. We're going to spend a full hour digging into Gmail management, and that's things like delegation. Those are things like identifying phishing and like malicious emails that have been sent. You can like swoop into your users' inboxes and pull out an email that has been sent to your organization, with like a phishing scam or something attached to it, reporting, all of that stuff. Shelby and I are working on this content today. Anything that you want to do in Gmail, gPanel enables it, and we're going to walk you through it on February 28th. So sign up for that. Even if you can't make it, it'll be recorded and sent out just like this webinar today is. So with that, we're going to go for about 25 minutes or so. Just a reminder, drop in your questions, any comments. I'll be in there watching. In the meantime, I'm going to hand it over to Shelby, who is going to take you for a test drive around gPanel.
Thank you, Brandon. Like Brandon said, I'm Shelby Gaines. I am a system support engineer here at Promevo. I may have interacted with you guys before on a ticket or a video call, but it's great to connect with you guys here. And like Brandon said, I will be leading this month's gPanel webinar, focusing on some of the gPanel basics. This webinar is designed for new gPanel administrators, and we'll explore some of the platform's most valuable features, just trying to equip you with the knowledge and skills for effective gPanel management. The topics today will be user management, calendar resources, drive functionality, the reporting center, and the administration center tools. Some key takeaways that I would like you guys to walk away with are going to be understanding some of the core functionality of gPanel, gaining confidence in navigating the gPanel interface, and learning how to leverage gPanel's features to streamline administrative tasks. gPanel is a tool that duplicates a lot of the functionality within the admin console, and it also provides additional features that aren't found in the Google admin console. So simply put, gPanel is a tool to manage users and adjust their permissions. So let's go ahead and get started. The user management page serves as the default landing page for admins, providing a comprehensive user directory that mirrors the Google admin console, eliminating the need for new user imports. New users can be added here through a straightforward process, very similar to the process within within Google. gPanel provides granular control over user permissions. You will find those here at the top of the toolbar. And these permissions are going to be categorized by service. Notably, some of the settings that gPanel offers are going to be the Gmail management capabilities, like what Brandon highlighted. For instance, like account delegation. Account delegation is a feature that allows an admin to grant specific privileges to other users' inbox. Within Gmail, end users are able to delegate their own accounts, but in situations where you need individuals to act on behalf of each other or maybe a compliance situation, admin are able to come in and delegate users in gPanel. A new feature to the account delegation is this expiration date feature. This allows admin to delegate accounts and set expiration dates, eliminating the need for manual account updates. And the use case for this is, if you have a team member that you know that's going to be out for a week and you need either the manager or another team to make sure that that inbox is delegated, you can come in, add that user, set the expiration date. Like I said, if you need it for it to be a week or if you need it to be longer, you don't have to worry about going in and removing that delegate. So this is like one of those set it and forget it things, which is kind of cool because again, you don't have to worry about setting reminders to go in and to update the user profile. Vacation responder and forwarding are also unique to gPanel. While these functions are available to the end user in Gmail, there is not a way for administrators to access these permissions within the admin console. In gPanel, administrators have the ability to manage these settings. A vacation responder, also known as an automatic reply or out of office message, is a useful tool to inform senders that you are unavailable and provides information about when you will be back. This can help manage expectations and prevent urgent matters from falling through the cracks. For businesses who have clients that anticipate ongoing communication, this gPanel feature might be useful for your business. And the same can be said for forwarding. Enabling email forwarding ensures productivity and creates a backup of important emails by forwarding them to another address. Signature templates are another unique feature within gPanel. Signature templates could be used to streamline your workflow and enhance your professional images for your workspace. Signature templates also help with branding and help to maintain a consistent look and feel to your emails. They offer quick information to contact information like your name, title, company, phone number, email addresses. Adding information to your signature template can help to expand your online presence and make you stand out against competitors. And a well crafted signature just always adds a touch of professionalism to your emails. Again, we will have that deep dive into the email management on our next webinar where we'll be covering a lot of different topics. And we also have a few webinars on like signature templates. But of course, if you have any questions or would like to see anything outside of this webinar, please don't hesitate to reach out. The next section that we are going to be covering are going to be calendar resources. gPanel offers comprehensive calendar management capabilities exceeding the limitations of what you can do in the Google Admin Console. One key feature is going to be the ability to transfer calendars, and you will find this option right here with these two arrows. And you'll also find it too when you are in a user's calendar. But if you're familiar with this, then you know that in the admin console, if you do perform a calendar transfer, it's irreversible. That means that that prior owner does not have access to any of those folders or files. gPanel offers a tool. Oh, excuse me, wait, calendars. I'm actually going to drive. I'm saying, but with calendars, you can always transfer those here, and that'll be the same for Drive. Sorry. Um, when you're accessing all of the calendars for a user, you will see all of their secondary calendars, all of the associated calendars. And admins are going to have the ability to edit, share, and manage these calendars. And those roles, and roles are going to mirror those that are found in within the native calendar app. Calendar events are also visible and manageable within gPanel. So, for instance, like I mentioned, admin will be able to transfer calendars, and this is helpful to maintain continuity. If you know that you have an employee that is going to be leaving, let's say this Friday, but next month is full of employee meetings with other clients and engagements, you can transfer those calendar to another user, and that maintains that those events that have already been scheduled that they're going to be addressed and they're not just left. Admin can also come in and edit the calendar. So by editing the calendar, you can change the name, the location, and the time zone if need be. Admin are going to have the ability to share calendars, whether you need to share it from the top level, if you need to lock it down at the domain. Maybe the calendar can only be accessed by a few people, or maybe you want the calendar to be open to everyone on the internet. Admin can come in and adjust the visibility by changing these, and they can also adjust the roles. Again, these roles will be the same roles that are found within the native calendar app. Admin will also have the ability to add different users and groups. Again, when you add different users and groups, the roles will be the same as those found in the native calendar app. But again, a use case for this may be for a new hire. When you first onboard a new employee, they have a lot of meetings with HR. If you have an HR group already created, you can come in, add your HR group, and give them maybe editor permissions. And that way, from an HR perspective, they can go ahead and schedule the meets that they need to with that new user, and they don't have to, kind of waste time reaching out to the manager and stuff. They can kind of and take that initiative on their own. So that's also very helpful for calendar management as well. Admin are also going to be able to manage and create events. So in addition to being able to see the already like occurring events that's on the user's calendar, they will also be able to create events, which is really helpful if you know that you need to meet with a user maybe for a one-on-one, just a quick talk about how the week is going. You can come into a user's calendar, add that event. You can add users and groups, add a description, and that event will populate on the user's calendar. Admin are also going to be able to edit pre-existing events, which is also very helpful. For instance, if an admin needs to add maybe another user, another team to that event, they can do that. If they needed to update the calendar information, admins are going to have that tool to come into these calendars and adjust that. Again, that's something that they cannot do within the Google Admin Console. Admin will also have the ability to delete events and see a history of all of the actions taken towards the calendar, which could be helpful in compliance situations. Although not covered in detail here, the resource calendars and templates, they're going to have similar management capabilities like you will find within your calendars. In your calendar transfer logs, those are going to be really important for those organizations that have high compliance requirements. These provide a valuable audit trail documenting all calendar transfer activities. So, in summary, just to wrap up calendars, gPanel empowers administrators with enhanced control over user calendars, streamlining processes like employee offboarding, ensuring continuity of events, and maintaining compliance through audit detail trails. gPanel offers a comprehensive solution for managing calendars within an organization. The next section we are going to visit is going to be Drive, and there's going to be a lot that administrators can do within Drive. I will say that the Drive management tool is a lot more user friendly than with Google's, especially when it comes to transferring drives. Like I mentioned before, you can transfer calendars, but you also have the ability to transfer drives. And in this case, when you transfer a drive, that is going to be irreversible. When you do that is to happen, we offer a drive sweep tool, which will basically come in and restore edit access to the previous owner. It won't give them that owner access that they once had, but it will give them access to those files and folders that they previously had access to. And that could help because, like I said, if you're going to be doing that within the admin console, there is not a way to take that action back. The option to transfer calendars is always going to be found right here by this little arrow button. And again, this drive sweep tool will be found right here. Unlike the limited My Drive management in the Google Admin Console, gPanel provides comprehensive access to all of the user's folders and files. Administrators will have the ability to create folders. They will have the ability to view documents, adjust sharing permissions, control document visibility, and set expiration dates for access. Helpful if you only need users to have access to documents or folders for a set period of time. So, like I said, administrators, they'll come in, they'll have access to all of that specific user's folders and files. They'll be able to go into the specific folders and files and actually view the documents. And again, this is something that you cannot do within the admin console. And when you actually open up this document, it also will provide allow you to open it within Google Docs. Again, something that you're going to be limited to doing in the admin console. And this is just going to be really helpful because there may be three different documents named the entitled the same thing. Being able to view that allows you to confirm what you're actually looking for. So that is helpful. Admin are going to be able to rename the document and also, like I mentioned before, sharing. You can share the document, the visibility restricted to, again, maybe only people with this link are going to be able to access this document. Maybe anyone in your domain you want to have access to this document or drive, or perhaps on the internet. Admin can come in and change the visibility for those folders and files. And they will also have the ability to add users and groups. And like I said, this also offers an expiration feature, which is really cool. I think of this as something that's useful for maybe if you think of if you're having HR, they may be having some contractual meetings and they only need, maybe finance only needs to have access to this folder for the entire month while they're doing like their budget reviews. You can come in, you can add the finance group. You can give them the similar permissions. These permissions are going to mirror those found within the Google Drive app, so you don't have to worry about making sure you're picking the right permissions. They are going to be the same, and you can set an expiration date. So you know that for that month, that finance group, they may just need commentator permissions, but you know that after that month, you don't have to remember to go in and remove all of these users and groups. Once you set the expiration, it's set and done. The drive tool,
Hey,
the drive,
Shelby.
yes.
I'm sorry, I tried to get in before you got started again.
No, no.
We have a question that
Mhm.
came in that I think is pertinent to exactly what you're talking about right here. The question is for Drive Sweep. It gives edit access to a previous owner if they lost ownership. Yes. So is
Yes.
this a fail-safe if ownership is transferred incorrectly?
Yes. Like I said, you won't give them, they won't have that owner access back, but they will have edit access back. The previous owner will. So in the event that it was accidentally transferred, that is a way to kind of make sure that they still have access to all those previous files and folders that they once had before.
Gotcha. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry
And
to
again, that's
interrupt.
something that's only found in the admin console. You know, you cannot do that within Google admin, which could be kind of frustrating.
You mean it's only available in gPanel, not
gPanel,
within
yes,
the
I was going to
admin
say you
console? Okay,
cannot do that within the admin console. Yes.
gotcha. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, no
Thank you.
worries, no worries. Um, I was on the Drive Search tool, which there is a Drive Search tool that is available within the native Drive, within the native Google Drive. However, if you're familiar with it, it is only exclusive to the user's drive. Our Drive Search is going to allow administrators to locate any document within the domain using various search parameters. And once found, they can manage that document similar to my drive. So, for instance, if you know that you have a user, you know who created the document, you may not be familiar with the exact name, but you know it includes like a certain word. You can come through and you can search for that. And what gPanel will do is it's going to pull up all the files and folders that have that specific parameter. Like for instance, I looked up actor, so it pulls up everything related to actor. But if you have specific parameters, it'll pull up what it's looking for. And again, the admin can come in and they're going to be able to view the document just like they can do within my drive. They can come in and view the document, make sure that this is the correct document that they're looking for. They'll be able to rename it. Maybe you need to update the year from 2022 to 2025. They can adjust the sharing permissions similar to those in within my drive. Again, if you needed to restrict it to just a certain people with the link, maybe just domain level, if you needed to remove and add users in certain groups and adjust their permissions. Again, these permissions will be the same ones found in the Google native Drive app. And of course, they can also trash it if need be. And that's going to be the Drive Search tool. Again, you'll be able to find anything within your company's domain versus just when users have to go into their own Drive Search from like the end user perspective in Google Drive and try to search for certain things. So Ownership transfer logs are going to basically give you a log of everything that has been transferred in your environment. Again, really helpful for those companies that have a high audit requirement. That'll be great. Drive sweep is that tool that is basically like a fail safe. Again, if you in the event that you have a drive that you transferred and you need to give that previous person, they need to be able to have access to those files and folders. I definitely encourage using the drive sweep tool. And admin also have ability to all the shared drives. Now, as an administrator, admin will be able to see all of the shared drives in their domain, and they also possess certain control. This includes the ability to share drives, manage members, and adjust their roles, which mirror those found in the native Drive app. In the event that you come across a drive that you don't have access to, you will encounter excuse me, a convenient access request pop-up window. And this will basically enable you to grant yourself permissions for the management. In this case, I want access to the entire drive. So I'm going to go for the highest permission, which is going to be content manager. But if you just needed to be able to view what was taking place within that drive, you could also select those permissions. It's just kind of how you want to manage it. When viewing folders within the platform, a shortcut is automatically created, placing you directly within the actual drive. This allows for immediate access to the desired folder or document, streamlining your workflow. It is crucial to remember, and I always like to highlight that the permissions hierarchy within gPanel function identically to Google Drive, meaning the permissions are inherited. So when you are granting yourself permissions and others, please exercise caution as these could have cascading effects. And I like to start off at the top level to show how you can manage shared drives. If you manage shared drives from the admin console, these are kind of scattered, like all of all of the settings. But in gPanel, they're in one place, which makes it kind of easier to manage. Like I said, you can come in if I needed to add users or groups to the drive, I can. All of the settings for shared drives are going to be found right here, which is definitely helps make it easier when you're trying to pick out the permissions and customize your certain drives. You'll have access to all of the information in the drive. Like you can go as deep as the drive gets. You'll be able to view that information similar to how you can do in My Drive. If you need to confirm that this was the right document, you can do that and open it within Google Docs. You can rename the document and share. And this is for files and folders as well. So there's a lot that you can do within share drives and just kind of have fun. You also have the ability to create folders as well. And if you don't have that permission if you're trying to achieve something like rename or create a folder, and if you don't have that permission, gPanel will give you this access request window, and you just have to grant yourself at least the least permission that will allow you to do that. In this case, it'll be contributor, but it again just depends on the action that you're taking.
Shelby.
Yes.
Not surprisingly, we have a few more questions around Drive. Like Google Drive it's
Mhm.
huge and it's really hard to manage. And not surprisingly, this is where a lot of gPanel admins spend a good chunk of their efforts. But we had a few questions come
Mhm.
in. Angela, I know you had one about user permissions. We'll circle back to that one, but staying on Drive for just a second. One of the questions is for a drive search, can you restrict the search to certain shared drives or folders, like search within a particular drive?
It depends on. There's not going to be a parameter for that. I see what you're saying. So like if you had a user that has a specific drive named like ABC, am I able to search exclusively in that ABC drive? Or is
I
that
think so.
exactly?
Yeah, yeah. Like look for files and things within a particular drive or even a particular folder.
You would, but I don't I was you would, but you would have to know. Yeah, you could because let's say if you're looking for something within the particular folder and you just know the name, you know who created it, maybe like the type, you could search for like with specific parameters and it'll pull up all of the files and folders associated with that search. So yes, you can.
Gotcha. Oh,
Oh,
there you
he's
go.
okay. He said that's the question. Okay, perfect.
And then V2 of Drive Sweep is still in progress. Do you know it? Like, do you have an idea on when that's going to launch?
I was gonna say, as far as I know, Drive Sweep is working. When I've done the Drive Sweep and my testing is working. So Zach, if you can provide in the chat your domain, and then I can reach out to you and like reach out and connect with you because I'm not sure when that information was shared. But as far as I know, my testing and we haven't had any reports about the dry sweep tool being down. But if you can leave your domain in the chat and I can get that for you and I can reach out to you and then we could touch base on that. But it should be working for you. So if it's not working, then we definitely need to meet so we can talk about that.
Thank you. And then one final one regarding Drive. And again, like if you guys have more questions, keep them coming, and we'll follow up with you. Like we're going to be close on time today. In fact, we might go a couple minutes over. Everyone that's here will get a recording, of course, but anything that we can't get to, we'll reach out to you directly. And I think we've got email addresses, at least for those of you that are registered and interacting with us there in the chat. One final question on Drive is there a way to bulk label files that are showed externally, for example, or have a public link, a way to like tag those?
So we do have bulk operations. I don't know for sure if there's a bulk operation to add a label. We do have a few operations that you could do, but as far as adding labels, I'm not entirely too sure. So, Angela, what I can do is I can add that to a list, and I can reach back out to you and follow up on you with that bulk.
And before Angela had one of the very first questions, I want to make sure we address it before we hit the time. Not necessarily related to Drive, but do you have preset role permissions for different IT groups like help desk, desktop, full admin?
So that's because I was gonna say I'm actually gonna touch base on role manager a little bit later, but the only default roles that we have are gonna be user and admin. But in that, just bear with me, I will touch base with that because I will be talking about role management. You do have a way where you can go in and create roles and basically customize the specific roles for like a team. So for instance, if you wanted just a finance team to be able to manage certain things, you could go in and customize those, and that would be found on your administration tools. The only preset rules that we have though are going to be your default admin and then the user. So you will still have to go in and create those roles.
Fabulous. Okay, we are starting to run up on it, but I will hand it back over to you, Shelby, to continue plowing through it.
No worries. And I'll just go ahead. I'll touch quickly based on like our report center. So the report center is a powerful feature that provides administrators with a comprehensive and granular view of their Google Workspace environment. While the admin console has like some basic reporting capabilities, gPanel goes far beyond, offering over 77 customizable reports. And these can deliver specific details about your users, groups, and OUs and domains. I do like to point out the cPanel logs. These are going to be logs that diligently track and record all admin activity that take place within the Google Admin Console. This can help when you're troubleshooting and trying to resolve issues that may arise due to changes made within the Google Admin Console. Administrators could examine these logs and be able to trace actions and identify any configuration modifications and help to kind of pinpoint towards potential errors and troubleshoot those. So I also like to highlight our cPanel logs. Some key advantages for using R logs are going to be gaining deeper insights into user activity, data usage, customization, scheduling reports for your recurring tasks and automated reports. You'll be able to share these reports with specific users and teams, and unique reports. I do like to add that we have a few different reports that are not found within the Google Admin Console, like email forwarding and email account delegation. To make a report, you would just click up. Well, actually, I'll start over. To add a report or to create a report, you would just click this add report button and then you would name it. I will say that all of the reports, they're going to be categorized by service, and each report will have different sets of data depending on which report you choose. Keep in mind that depending on the type of tier of gPanel that you are on will affect the reports that you have access to. For instance, gPanel Starter has only 12 reports. Standard and Enterprise include all of them. And there's a lot of reports. Just for the sake of the time, I am going to kind of move up a bit. But if you guys do want to go over this like in depth, I would always be able to meet outside of this. Like I said, you'll be able to. Well, I didn't set the schedule. You'll be able to schedule your report to automate these. I will say when you do this within the admin console, you know that once you create that schedule and then you run it, you have to go back in and recreate that scheduling configuration. And that could be overwhelming. So when you come into gPanel and you schedule these reports, it's one and done. You don't have to worry about going in and creating it again. Depending on the report is going to depend on the information. This is our user profile report, and there's, as you see, 114 columns. There's a lot of information here. You don't have to use all of these columns, and that's what we mean by customization. You can pick and choose which columns that will be useful for you and what you're looking for. You'll be able to run these against users, groups, OUs, and domains. In this case, I'll just pick a domain. And then you'll also have the ability to share out the information. So you can set this up to be emailed automatically to specific users and groups. And you can also export these reports in various formats such as PDF or CSV. And I do like to point out that our reports are made in real time. So when you first run the report, it will take a moment for that data to populate. But that's because gPanel is going through and making sure that they are grabbing all the data. And so after about a minute or two, you should see that data start to populate. Very quickly, we're going to go over the administration tools. I wanted to highlight this because there are some valuable sections in this, especially for those of you administrators who are new to gPanel. For instance, indexing. When anytime that you make a change within the admin console, that change is not going to be reflected into gPanel until a new user logs in. So like that means another admin, another user, that information that you made in the admin console won't reflect. Indexing is going to allow you to come in and basically sync whether users, groups, calendars, and OUs, and it's going to update that information. A use case for this we have a lot of times is when a client gets promoted, or excuse me, a user gets promoted and their signature changes, and they need their new signature to be represented in their signature template, but it's not yet showing in gPanel. They can administrators can come into indexing. They can go against the individual user or all users in domain, and after that indexing, it will basically populate that information so that both of your consoles are one to one. Labs is basically a sandbox environment. Our dev team is always working on new features and tools, so they will roll out different testing features. These may break, some they can be removed without notice, but again, this is basically like our sandbox environment. Role manager, Angela, this might be really helpful for you. These are roles that I've already created, but again, the first default roles that you'll find when you log into gPanel are going to be admin and user. And from there, you can add and create rules. And one, like I made a finance role. I'm still working on it, but depending, I mean, we have so many permissions. The permissions are so granular and they're broken down by service. And then you can break down by like whether you want to create permissions, delete permissions, edit permissions. We could we could spend like a whole 30 minutes on this itself, but for like in your case, if you're looking to create different roles for different teams, this is where you would definitely want to come in and create those. The gPanel API, that's only going to be exclusive to those tiers, exclusive to the enterprise tiers of gPanel. And this is going to be basically they can use the gPanel API to integrate with different softwares like Workday, Okta, and HubSpot to help those processes like onboarding users, decomming users, and even creating the standard policies. We're going to do a lot more on this coming soon. And settings is going to be the last section. There are a variety of tools that you can come here and set up. I like to mention the welcome templates, but my most favorite one is going to be the Google API status. This is going to be really helpful when you are needing to check the operational status of different Google APIs, which can be really helpful when you're trying to troubleshoot. You can run your admin APIs, and you can also run user APIs. I've had a few situations where we've had clients where certain users aren't able to, they get maybe an API error for Gmail or something like that. It is definitely advantageous for administrators to be able to come into gPanel and run that specific user, and it'll tell them if that how that API is for that specific user, which can kind of pinpoint like what you're looking for and kind of like not you'll be able to troubleshoot a little bit more effectively. So I definitely would like to point out the Google API status, which is new. We are a little bit over time, so I do apologize about that. I did want to include some new information for you guys, but again, if you guys have any questions or would like to see anything outside of this, I will be reaching out to a few of you guys. But of course, we can always meet up and go over this stuff too.
Yes. Yeah. Any more questions? I mean, obviously, we're 5 minutes over, so we're going to go ahead and wrap. But any more questions that you have, you're welcome to reach out to us. You can hit up Shelby in the chat window. Might not be Shelby, it might be someone else on the team, but you will get a response there. Email us. Like Promevo, we pride ourselves in being super responsive and super aware of your questions and comments and requests. And you guys, highly recommend that you stay tuned. I've seen the roadmap for gPanel. It's insane, some of the stuff that we're going to be adding, constantly making improvements, and the features are going to be coming quick, fast, and in a hurry. So keep an eye out. We'll do this again next month. Just a reminder, February 28th, we're doing a full hour-long session just on email management. So as you can see, each one of these sections there's a lot of depth. There's a ton of stuff to it that we can get to. So keep an eye out. We will be doing more of those, but the first one will be email management. I think that's it. We're 6 or 7 minutes over.
Yeah. I was just
Everyone
gonna say,
that's out
Angela, if you could
there
put your,
observing,
do you know Angela's domain? If you do, I can get it from you after. I just want to make sure that I got everybody's, make
I
sure I
can
got
catch it,
everybody.
Shelby.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So all of you out there, look, Shelby has already shifted away from webinar presenter mode to support team mode, trying to
So
solve
I
all the
just want to make sure
problems.
everybody's, but I should be able to find her. I got her contact stuff, so I should be able to find her.
This is what makes you so good at what you do. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you to
Thank you
everyone
guys.
observing. Shelby, much appreciated. Thank you
Of
for doing
course.
this. And to
Have a
everyone
good
out there, have a great Tuesday, and we will see you next time.